Hello everyone and welcome to our webinar with Skoltech, the Skolovo Institute of Science and Technology. My name is Zornica and I'm the moderator of this online session on behalf of UniMy Masters. In today's session, you're going to learn more about Skoltech's top master's programs in science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. I would like to thank you all for joining us and to welcome our speakers today, Denis Tolarov, Head of Student Department at Skoltech, and Ivan Volodin, a current PhD student who has graduated from the Material Science Master's program at Skoltech. We will start with an overview of the different programs at Skoltech by Denis. Then Ivan will share with us more about his academic experience and how it contributed to his personal and professional development. Your questions are more than welcome, so if you have any, please write them down in the chat box anytime during the webinar, and we will take the time to address them in the Q&A session after the discussion with Ivan. This webinar is recorded and you will receive a link to the recording per email in a week's time. Thanks, and now I'll give the word to Denis to start with his program overview.
Thank you very much. Well, good evening to all the participants of our webinar. I think it is the safest possible way that we can have today to deliver some information about our institute, and I hope that you're safe wherever you are. Okay, so I'm gonna briefly outline some key facts about Skoltech, basically who we are and what we do, and how this may be how this may provide some opportunities to you if you plan to continue your master studies in STEM or PhD. So first thing to know about Skoltech is that we're a young university, and as you know, probably in the world, young universities well considered are those which are below 50 years. And with this perspective, we are a very young university because this year we're going to turn 10 years. But despite this fact, you can see a really nice Nature Index logo right next to our logo on the slide, which means that in 2019, we've been included in the list of top 100 best young universities in the world according to Nature Index, which is a quite remarkable achievement. Next important thing is that, and this is really important for you international prospective students, that all education in Skoltech is conducted in English. So you don't need to know Russian to come and study at Skoltech, which is, by the way, located in Moscow, Russia. Next important thing is that we managed to combine science, innovation, and entrepreneurship, and this has a very great reflection in our educational programs, and I will talk about this a bit later. The last but most important thing from my point of view is that we managed to get a team of a globally renowned faculty here on campus, which not only act like course instructors and research advisors to our students, but also like mentors, helping them to achieve their career goals. Okay, speaking about our education, Skoltech is a graduate school, which means that we have master's and PhD programs. We don't do bachelors. And speaking about the areas of knowledge, as you can see on the slide, it is mainly STEM, science, technology, engineering, and math. And well, yeah, this date's a bit outdated. The final deadline that we have right now is July 16, so for all of the programs, just in case, but I will talk about this a bit later as well. Okay, speaking about the structure of our education, all our master's programs are 2-year length with 120 credits. So we use European credit transfer system, so it's minimum of 120 credits to get. And the structure of the program, it's actually really adjustable to the needs of each student. So how it works, we have a compulsory part, which is 36 credits, and it's the core of each program, the key minimum a student has to obtain in order to get this or that degree in this or that particular field. All other parts he can adjust to his own needs. For instance, in 24 credits, we have the electives model, which means that within this model, student can take courses from the whole course catalog of Skoltech, which as of today consists more than 200 courses. For instance, if you're mastering data science program but want to dig a bit deeper into biotechnology or life sciences, you can do that within this model for sure. Also, we have 12 credits for entrepreneurship and innovation, and within this part, we actually teach our students how to build startups and how one can commercialize the technology and get really great benefits from that. For instance, we have a course which is called Innovation Workshop, and the course is structured via the model of accelerator programs. So you have to build a small team and for 1 month, the length of the course, to get from idea to some minimal valuable product, which you afterwards present to venture experts from all over the world, to our professors. And by the way, many students continue to work on their projects when the course is finished because they see that this is really great opportunity. And as of today, Skoltech has around 100 companies in its portfolio, which were launched by or together with our students and graduates. And this is, well, many of these companies were launched after Innovation Workshop and within working on the courses from this part. We also have industrial immersion for 12 credits, and it actually means that our students, they don't have summer vacation between first and second year of studies, because for 2 months they're obliged to go to a company and apply their knowledge into solving real world problems. And this is a really great opportunity for students to present himself and probably find a really nice spot for the future placement. And the last but definitely not least part is the 36 credits for research project. And again, your research may be more theoretically oriented or more practically oriented or more entrepreneurial oriented, depending on the way you really feel it, you really want it. And of course, you figured that out with your research advisor. Okay, speaking about some perks, we have a pretty nice academic mobility program. And of course, during pandemic nowadays, it's a bit shrink, but we hope that in some time in future, in whatever new normal would be, we would return to that. But basically, on their second year of studies, our students have a really nice opportunity to travel all over the world to see how research is done in the labs out there. And on the slide, by the way, you can see 2 logos. It's our logo and logo of MIT. And MIT logos here is on purpose because MIT was initially our key partner, the institute which helped us to launch Skoltech. And that is why, by the way, we consider our educational process a state-of-art thing. And but in general, academic world is much bigger than MIT. And despite the fact that today we have a lot of around 20 joint research projects with MIT, our students have an opportunity to travel all over the world, despite well, the particular institute title and name. We just need to have a proper justification, scientific justification to do that. For instance, you need to finish your lab course or lab thesis work, or you want to work with a faculty member who used to publish on the topic you're working on for very actively recently. So this would be there should be some legal scientific justification for that. And in case it is there, we will send you to this university and cover all the costs related to that. Okay, speaking about our career tracks, so basically it's 3 tracks. First one is the industry track, and it's for those who want to start a professional career after getting a master's degree. And this is, well, as I said, we already have this industrial immersion embedded into our educational programs, but also a lot of our labs, they actually work on industrial grants. It's when a company would come to our lab and pay a huge amount of money for this and that research. And many students, they actually do have an opportunity to also participate in this industrial grants and have some nice lines in their CV afterwards, which would help them to make a placement. And the next track is science, and it's for those who want to pursue an academic career. And as I said, we already have our own PhD programs, so it's a pretty normal story when our master graduate would enter our PhD program. But in general, our graduates, they don't have problems in finding PhD places in the top schools out there, Ivy League, etc. So we see that, and this is really great. And the last but not least, for sure, is the startup track, and it's for those who want to launch their own company. And as I said, we already have especially dedicated activities set for that, and we teach our students how to do that. Yeah, that's just a glimpse of our industrial partners. Of course, it's not the full list because full list would require additional presentation. Okay, speaking about the selection process, important part. So if you wish to apply for this academic year, which will start in September 1st for masters and November 1st for PhD, you have 2 deadlines. So first deadline for MSc for masters is July 16, and all the process I will be talking about today would be with regards to masters, applying for masters programs. But in PhD, it's rather similar, and the deadline for PhD is August 2nd. So speaking about the selection process, first thing you have to do is to submit your application till July 16 in our special application system. And it's pretty easy. You just fill in required lines, upload the documents. There are two important documents actually there. You have to pay additional attention. First document is your motivation letter. And we kindly ask you, and it's a small hint from me, not to use the templates from the internet, because our faculty and the members, they know by word is beautiful from the terms of language, but meaningless from the terms of what your motivation is documents. So please write it yourself. Maybe it won't be so beautiful from the English point of view, I mean, meaning the language, but it's better to be true and about you than some random template from the internet. Next important document is actually two documents. It's two recommendation letters, and we advise that one of this would come from your current scientific advisor, but if you can, it's not a mandatory requirement. Second one could be from someone who used to work with you in company on your internship, or even a PhD student who used to work with you in a lab. So particularly any person who can say some words from academic or professional point of view about you. After you submit your application, you'll be entitled to pass online test with screening. So normally it's a test which lasts for 3 hours, and it's program specific. So it is tailored to the program which you're applying for. And we use a special proctoring software. It's a special program you should install on your laptop before you would pass the online test. And we use this software to prevent you from cheating. Of course, each system could be hacked, and we know about that, but I strongly advise you not to do that, because on the next stages you would definitely be caught, and that would be not good for you. So just prepare yourself. We have samples, test samples available out there on our website. So just prepare yourself, and basically it's not really hard test. We just pre-screening, so it's nothing so to worry about. Okay, after that, if the results of your test and your application is really good, you will be invited to the final stage. Final stage normally lasts for 2 days, and in the previous times it were done on campus, but this year we are doing this completely online. For the next admission cycle, I don't know yet, but maybe it would be it would continue online. So basically, selection days consist of several stages. Is the interview with the faculty members panel. Normally it lasts for 20-30 minutes. When you present yourself, then you answer questions, solve some problems, etc. So normal interview. Basically, a really good experience, even if you wouldn't be admitted to Skoltech, or you decide not to go to Skoltech. But any interview is a really great experience, because you and me, all of us, will have a lot of interviews in our future life. So the more you do, the better you get. Next is Indie Challenge. So it's a specifically designed soft skills challenge. It is not program tailored, but it's definitely a way to get some additional points to your performance. Also, one of the mandatory documents you have to upload is your English proficiency certificate. We accept only IELTS and TOEFL. So if you have TOEFL or IELTS with the score passing our bar, and which is valid at the day when you submit it, then you just submit it and forget about that. If don't, all participants invited to the selection days would be provided with an opportunity to pass TOEFL ATP in digital form for free. So this is a really great benefit for you, and we provide you with that. So it's official TOEFL ATP, since Skoltech is an official ETS, which is developer of this test systems, ETS company. We are official partner of ETS. Okay, and well, some programs require additional online testing, like data science program. They have additional online testing, and it is, well, organized a bit the same way as the pre-screening test, but it's a bit more complicated. Okay, and well, after that, the winners are invited to join Skoltech and receive our offer. And just to conclude, things that I've said about why Skoltech may be a good place for you in case you want to continue in your STEM studies. So first is the globally renowned faculty, which I would like to point it out once again, act not only like course instructors and research advisors, but mentors helping you to pursue your career goals. Next important point is that all education at Skoltech is conducted in English, so you don't need to know Russian to come to Moscow. And well, completing a degree in English means that you would be a person ready to work in particular any markets out there. Next is that we provide our students with an opportunity to launch their own startup during the studies, and we actually teach how to do this. Next important thing is that we have industry immersion and academic mobility programs already embedded into our educational offer. Next important thing, this is really important for you guys, international students. As of today, we don't charge tuition fees. So if you manage to pass the selection process, which is completely free as well, you wouldn't have to pay for your education because it would be fully covered by Skoltech and without any obligations, except one, to be a great student and then become a great professional who would make really perfect career and spread the word about Skoltech. And moreover, on top of that, all of our students are entitled to receive monthly scholarship, which starts from 40,000 K rubles per month. And well, it's around 700-800 euros, depending on exchange rate. And it's pretty enough to cover the living costs in Moscow. We also have, for international students, we also have specially designated apartments here on the territory of the Skolkovo Innovation Center, like a 10-minute walk from campus. And it is also provided for international students. Also, for international students, we provide a relocation. Of course, as of today, we have a lot of restrictions related to pandemic, COVID-19, etc. But in normal process, we relocate our students here. And if we would be lucky, everyone, and the pandemic would fade away sooner or later, we, of course, would relocate everyone, all of our students here on campus. And here it is, our beautiful campus. So it was designed by European Bureau Herzog de Meuron, and in 2019 it received an award for the best university campus by UNESCO. So this is a really nice place to spend several years of your time. We're still in distance, by the way, so we really miss our beautiful campus. But hopefully soon the pandemic would get the situation with the pandemic would get better, and we would be able to return to our campus. Okay, all that I've said could be found here on this website. It's pretty easy to remember. It's student.skoltech.ru. And I would like to kindly ask you to share this link after you finish the seminar. Share this link with your friends who also might be interested, but for some reasons didn't make it to our today's event. And also one important thing, if that would be the only thing you would remember from our today's event, that should be that you wouldn't like to wait till the final deadline, till like 32:59 of July 16 to submit your application. So just please do it as soon as possible. As soon as we finish today, by the way, you could pour yourself a cup of whatever you're drinking in the evening and start submitting your application. That would be a really smart move to do. Okay, I think that is it from my part. I see you have a lot of questions, and well, my colleagues would help me with answering that after our event. And so I pass the floor to Ivan. Ivan, the floor is yours.
So hi, dear enrollees. Give me a second. Yep. Can you see the presentation? Anybody see me?
Yes, we can.
Nice. Okay, so I will try to be short. I already tell the story from the side of a person who just studied masters in Skoltech. I graduated from Material Science track in 2019. So let's start with it. So before Skoltech, I was doing my bachelors in Mendeleev University of Chemical Technology of Russia. Yes, that is a nice university. Still at course number 3 nearly, I started to get bored. So I thought about the options for career. I thought about the Biotechnology and Research Institute. So in the beginning of the 3rd course, I've tried it. So the ratio of benefits to efforts was too low from my consideration. So I decided to try something else. I worked in research and development department in anti-corrosive decorative coatings company. And again, found that it's not for me. And at some moment at the course number 4 in my university, at the first one, I found that I can apply for masters in Skoltech. So at that moment, comparing with everything else that I had, I decided that it's a wonderful option and just started my preparations for that. So main questions: why did I decide to choose such a challenging university? Even at that moment, when it was even younger than today, it was still challenging to get there. Because I wanted all the things that any student that is going to apply to university wants. I wanted good studies and financial stability, and Skoltech could offer all this and even more. So there are good specialists, there was offered internship abroad, which is academic mobility, as Denis said, industrial immersion, uncounted resources for research. So I would like to admit it, it's something really rare and unique and very comfortable and handy for doing the research when you can just maybe order something that you need and just work with it. Of course, if it's something reasonable. And yes, scholarship as high as the salary for bachelor who is starting to work in industry. So basically I could earn the same amount of money if I would have applied for a job somewhere, but I could also get my education and get a lot of additional nice experience. So why not? How did I pass there? The approach was quite straightforward and simple, but on the other hand, difficult in discipline. So I just found the professor with whom I wanted to work, contacted and asked for an interview, chose the topic for the research. Then I learned physics, mathematics, and English. At that time, these were the exams, the entrance exams. It took from me 9 months, but for you, it depends, of course, on your talent, background, on your luck. Applied and wrote exams as everybody did at that time, and then finally I passed. So what did I get from the Skoltech? Basically everything that I told you, which is good about Skoltech. So I would like to admit that the research conditions were really very nice, and the internship abroad was also very cool. So I had an opportunity to work in Friedrich Schiller University for 2 months. Here is my photo with the colleagues from there. And besides that, I got the entrepreneurship lessons that were very cool for me. I didn't encounter that entrepreneurship would be something that important directly for me, but it was actually some core of the things that I learned in Skoltech. So for me, it was really very valuable. It was both a lot of fun at the entrepreneurship courses and a lot of really nice, fruitful discussions about the ways how to build the business with really experienced and talented professors and assistants. So closer to the research that I've done in Skoltech, as I said, I was studying at Material Science track. So my scientific investigations were based on redox flow batteries field. So here you can see the scheme, how they work. I won't explain how they actually do this because it will take a lot of time. We don't have it. But why did I put it here? To show you that same as any other research direction, it can be more or less complicated, yeah? And for me, it was a specific case because redox flow batteries was a new direction at our track. And before starting to work, I had to design the redox flow battery myself. So which I actually did in the end. And again, thanks to resources for the research from Skoltech. And I would say that it's really a special feeling when you do the research using the cells that you designed yourself. So it was worth all the efforts that I have put in it. Yeah, also at the same time, I did 2 side projects in parallel with flow batteries. I've tested, and finally, why did I started my research? I tested the new active substances for the flow batteries. These ones were the proof of concept, so it was the new word in planning of the composition of the electrolyte for flow batteries. Outcomes, experience, diploma, and paper, of course. So closer to entrepreneurship, I would remind you, before going to Skoltech, I knew nearly nothing about entrepreneurship. So it was empty sheet of paper. Yeah, during studies there, I, together with my colleague from Material Science track, became one of the winner teams of startup competition in MSU, Moscow State University, and we were developing our startup and incubator there. Also, in the frame of one of entrepreneurship courses in Skoltech, my team won case from Philips. It was marketing investigations for adaptation of Philips product in Russia. It was Philips Hue smart lamp. And yeah, so also additionally to that, I passed 2 innovation courses, assisted in another one, and performed a research project in entrepreneurship area. So if you are also don't know anything in entrepreneurship, but you would like to, so you can do same as me or even better. I think it could be more or less attractive. So it was really a lot of useful experience and fun. Today, I am a PhD student in Friedrich Schiller University in Vienna, the one where I had the internship during my studies in Skoltech. From my opinion, it's the best research group in the flow battery field. So for me, it's quite benefitable, and I'm quite fine about my position for now. After I graduate from here, I plan to do business based on my research, or in worst case, if my research is not that remarkable, I would try to base business on anything else. So for me, I think it's basically the end. To sum up, I would say that if you liked all the things that I have told you about the Skoltech, maybe if you don't like to sleep that much, then just apply there. You won't regret it. And yeah, thank you for attention. I guess now it's question time.
Yes, thank you very much, Ivan, for this wonderful presentation. We already have a few questions. Most of them refer to admissions, so I guess we'll need Anna and Denise to help us with them. The first one is about the entry tests, because Denise mentioned that there are some internal tests and there are also language tests, but it didn't mention GMAT or GRE. Is there such a requirement for some of the programs or for all of them?
Yeah, so I will be answering all the questions for the admissions. Yes, we have our internal tests, so we do not require any GRE or GMAT or anything else. Of course, if any of the candidates have such documents, I mean scores, they can attach it to the application form. But however, we have our own online test. And as regarding the English test, we accept TOEFL and IELTS. So if any of the candidates have these certificates, they can attach them as well in the application form, or they have the opportunity to take a TOEFL examination during our selection process for free.
All right, all seems clear. Thanks, Anna. Well, another question, it doesn't refer directly to the masters, but maybe you'll be able to answer to that. If a person wants to apply to a PhD, is there a requirement that they have to do masters, or they can apply for a PhD after the bachelors?
Yeah, so to apply for a PhD program, a student has to conduct a master's. So we accept students for a PhD only after master's degree.
Okay. We have one attendee who is interested in petroleum engineering. Is there such a master's degree in Skoltech? Is again the application deadline the 16th of July?
Yes.
Or is there something else
Everything
this person needs to know about it?
Yeah, we have, of course, a master and a PhD in petroleum engineering. The deadline for this program is as well July 16th. If we're talking about the master program, if we're talking about PhD in petroleum engineering, so it is August 1st. So yeah, I can send a link now in the chat directly to the website of the program.
Yeah, this would be wonderful.
Mhm.
I'll bring you back to the admission requirements because we got two more questions in this field.
Mhm.
What is the minimum IELTS requirement?
So the minimum IELTS requirement is 6.5. For the TOEFL, it's 80.
Okay. And do you take into account diploma transcripts?
Yes, of course. Actually, we do not require the scan of the diploma or the degree when the student applying. It will be enough if a student can provide us with the transcript. Definitely. So we will need the transcript in English. But if the document is in another language, student can just translate on their own and just attach two files, the original one and the translation of the transcript.
Yeah, thanks, Anna. We have another question about the entry requirements. Is there a requirement for work experience for the masters, or one can apply directly after bachelors without having work experience?
Yes, there is no requirement for a working experience. Students can apply directly after the bachelor's for the master program. I don't know, maybe Ivan wants something to add at this point, maybe somehow to comment about if he had an experience maybe, or did the panel of the program asked a question like this? Ivan, do you remember anything?
Anna, can you please tell me the question because I was answering the other one?
Okay, sorry. So there was a question about if a student need to have a working experience when applying for masters, and I said that we do not require a working experience, but maybe you would like to comment on this. Maybe you remember if the panel of professors asked you something about that, or maybe you had an experience and helped you with the masters.
Definitely not. Definitely a student shouldn't have working experience. It also depends on how he passes the interview. Yeah. The main thing is that the student should convince the professor committee who interviews him that he would be valuable, that he would go to the lab and do the things that he needs to do for his research. Obviously, if he has 3 years of experience of working on whatever, I don't know, solar cells, then they would expect that he can go and make a paper in half a year. And of course, for them, it would sound valuable. But on the other hand, if he would say that he has zero experience in this area, but just half a year ago, he understood that he was born to do that. And since then, during half a year, he learned all the information that he needs, and he just wants to go to the lab and do the stuff, then they would also take him. Yeah, the experience is something valuable, but not absolutely necessary.
Yes, definitely. Thank you, Ivan.
Well,
And what about the changing programs and specializations? Is it possible for someone who had a bachelor's in logistics, for instance, to apply now for data science as a master's?
Yes, definitely. We had such cases when students applying from another different specializations and applying, for example, for data science or for biotechnology. So we don't have any restriction with the previous background, since we have our own admission process. We have our online tests. The exams and the interview. So if a student is highly motivated and he's prepared, for example, to pass all the examinations in mathematics or, I don't know, in biotechnology, then yes, he or she can apply and try to try a new specialization.
Right. Yeah, we have a few questions about transferring credits and continuing from master's to PhD. So can one can one continue with a PhD after the master's at the same university?
Yes, definitely. I mean, at Skoltech.
Yes, at Skoltech.
Yes, of course. We have many students, master students who continuing their studies, their PhD studies at Skoltech, but of course they will have to pass an interview, like the selection, also for applying for a PhD program.
I would like to add also some things about that.
Yeah.
So it also depends on what is called human factor, because at my track, I would say that I recognized both things. One of them was behavior, where a professor was quite likely to take for PhDs the students who were doing masters because he knows how they work. And other case when the professor was very unlikely to take the students, and he said, like, go to other country, get experience there, and only then I allow you to return back, because I don't want to see you anymore, because you already has shown all your potential. Just get more and go back. Yes, so it can differ. It can differ, and all the professors have their own approaches, but from the terms of the Skoltech laws, I would say, yes, you are allowed, of course, and would be considered on the same level with all other enrollees outside the Skoltech. Just depends on the professor attitude.
Thanks. I see one more maybe technical question. Is it possible to transfer credits from another Russian university to Skoltech?
I believe the question is if student wants to transfer from, for example, from one master in one
to
university.
Another, yeah, to the second year.
Yes, definitely they can do this, but it can be done after. I mean, it can be done after the first year. For example, if the student is already conducted the first year of master, starting from September, when all the other students will start, he or she can transfer. They can write us to our admissions office, and my colleagues will help them to make this transfer. Of course, before that, these students should be understand in which program would like to transfer, and to contact with the professor with whom the student would like to work, so that he or she has a confirmation from the professor, from the program, that the student can be admitted at Skoltech.
Great, thanks, Hannah. Well, we receive a lot of questions about, do you have a master's in mathematics, in microbiology, PhD in biotechnology? Maybe it would be good if you can share again the link to the website where people will be able to find a list of all the programs.
I'm sending right now the link. So guys, we have 12 master programs and 7 PhD programs. This site I sent you, student.com, sorry, at Skoltech.ru. There you can find all our programs. We have, of course, master in mathematics. We have in data science, in biotechnology, and all STEM programs that you may be interested.
Great. Let me scroll through the questions. All right, so if a person applies now till the 16th of July, when should they start their lectures, this year or next year?
Of course, the lectures will start this year, starting from September 1st.
Okay. So we had one very interesting questions about the job opportunities in Russia after graduating masters. and especially in the engineering field? So it's a broad question, I know, but probably you know from your alumni and especially the international ones. How many people stay in Russia after graduating, or how is it possible to find a job in Russia after that?
Ivan, let me start, and I will give you the floor. So we at Skoltech, we have a career center which helps our students, our graduates and I mean, we guide them to find job opportunities here in Russia or in other countries. So during their studies, there will be we organize a lot of meetups, webinars, and meetings with representatives of many industrial companies, so that students can meet with them, talk with them, and see what are their opportunities after graduation. Also, all our students after the first year of the master program, they have the opportunity to make the industrial summer immersion. So students choose where they can do this. I mean, in which company they can do the industrial immersion. And of course, most of the times, these companies really like our students, our graduates, and they are waiting for them after the graduation to work with them. And some other students continue with the PhD studies in Russia or somewhere else. And of course, Ivan can tell his story. I mean, he already mentioned it, but Ivan, you can add some more information.
Yes, so I talk only from my experience because I cannot be in the head of the others. I had my problems at that time. I was at Material Science track, and this was not so as engineering, but it was more as theory about materials. So we had our materials engineering track and material science track. And I was more about the theory than about engineering. Still, I could say that at the industrial immersion time, we had to find the companies ourselves where we want to apply. If we couldn't, we asked for help, of course, but the first point was to start to find them ourselves. And I would say that it's really possible to find a company on your direction. I think it was always possible. The other point is how many do you find? Depending on the direction that you choose, engineering is something quite broad. So depending on the direction that you choose inside the engineering, you can find different amounts of companies that work concretely in this field. But you will definitely find some. The other question is, if you're international students, how easy is to work there? The more companies you can find, the more is possibility that this company is working on the international level. So if they do, then yes, they, I forgot the word. So I would just say simple word, they like people from other countries with international experience because it's something new and useful for them. But if they work based only on Russian, then that's a problem. So, but you will have an opportunity to try during industrial immersion, and you will see. Also, Anna said that we have centers that helps to find the career. I can say for sure there would be options. It just depends on your maybe knowledge of Russian if you have, and if you don't, then try yourself at industrial immersion. You have also opportunity for PhD, and you can also try to work with career department.
Thanks, Ivan. So you mentioned the international environment and your colleagues from different countries. This is not a question about it, but it's something I would like to ask you. So that we can have a clear image of how studying at Skoltech looks like. Would you tell us more about your class? Like how big was it? How diverse was it? Were there people from different countries or different backgrounds?
Ivan, will you answer, right? Yeah. Okay, great.
So as long as the question was for me, yeah, there were people from several countries, I would say, and there were people, I think, on the internship in our university just for a couple of months also. There were people from America, there were people from Europe, there were people from Iran, from India, there were from Russia, of course. So there were many people. I would say that it also depends on the track. I would also say that still amount of Russian people maybe is prevailing, but I guess because, you know, it's easier to go for studies at the place where your family lives. Yeah. But I saw a lot of international students, and it was real fun to talk with them and to spend time with them, because it was new experience, and there were really a lot of such people. Yes.
Great. Another question for me, is it all studying, or you also have opportunities for networking and socializing?
It's all about everything, I would say. So the thing is that the atmosphere in Skoltech is so charged, so energetic, that you always want to do something. I could not remember any period in my life when I was more energetic and involved in anything. So from just look at the facts, yes, from when I was studying at Skoltech, so I both studied, tried a startup, had fun and at entrepreneurship courses. For me, it was really fun, not studying, but fun. Was going with my colleagues sometimes to quarries places, just having fun. I organized my own club, a Rotary club. So I had time for that, yeah. So I guess it's not only studying. So Skoltech offers a lot of opportunities, and there are so many that you want to catch all of that, and it's yeah, then you don't have enough time. But yeah, it's definitely not only studying. If you want only to study, you can only to study, but there are so many more things that you can do there. So I would better not ignore it. These are good opportunities.
Yeah, definitely. And to bring you a little bit back in time, when you decided that you want to study at Skoltech, how did you prepare for the admissions? Did you contact? There was a question: should I contact a professor before? Maybe it would be useful if you can share with us your experience. Like, did you try to get in touch with alumni? How did you prepare?
So about
For
the
the whole
contact
process.
with the professor, I would say you don't have to. For me, it was a way to see what I should expect, because you can open the site and read it, and of course there is some information there, but you always can have a feeling that if you come there, it would maybe look not the same way. For example, my bachelor university looked different from what I've seen on the site and from what I expected. On the other hand, in Skoltech, so yes, talking with the professor really helped me, and I understood that it's really a place where I want to go. And also with, I think maybe it can help for the interview also, because it's kind of pre-interview where you train, yes, you speak personally with the professor. I wouldn't say that it gives you bigger benefits to enter a Skoltech, because if professor doesn't like you, then you won't be there, yeah. So you should, it's kind of earlier exam, yeah, you should be ready earlier than you have to. Yeah, but I just couldn't stand. I wanted to see what is there. It's about the talking with professor about the preparations in general. So as I have said, it took from me 9 months. So at the fourth course in my university, I had already some knowledge, and I didn't have to put that much of an effort to study further. and that's why I had some time to invest into the preparations. I was sitting in the library and reading physics, making notes. I think nearly every day or every second day, I called my professor in mathematics from the university where I got my bachelor's to help me to prepare for mathematics. About English, even before my university, I had good English, so I just needed to revise it. I would say that I have put really a lot of effort in preparations, but I saw other people. I saw in Skoltech, I saw people who told to me that, I thought, why not to apply to Skoltech, and applied there and I passed. Maybe they were just studying better before than me, I don't know, but it depends on the track, it depends on your background, on your luck. For me, I had to put some effort in it.
Sure. Yeah, you cannot rely on luck only. And of course, if you want to do something so serious like a master's in specialization, your first goal is to be professional. So yeah, you have to be prepared. I have a question about the exchange opportunities. I think Dennis mentioned something about it, and the particular question is, do data science students are able to do an exchange in MIT? But maybe it would be useful if you can elaborate more on this exchange opportunities, because they sounded really, really very attractive.
So basically, it's not exactly an exchange program, it's academic mobility, which of course our students have the opportunity to conduct during their studies. So of course, it's not only MIT, it's many other universities in the world. And of course, only like, I don't know, 1 or 2 students can apply for the academic mobility in MIT, because as of course, you know, MIT is like the best university in the world. But of course, any student from any program, any track can apply for academic and try to do this like mobility in MIT.
Thanks about that. So maybe one last question. How is the life for international students in Moscow? How mandatory is it to know Russian language for communicating? I know both of you are Russian, but still, I guess you have some feedback from your colleagues.
I can answer first that it's not mandatory to learn and know Russian, because here at Skoltech we are an international university and everyone speaks in English. And of course, like in Moscow city, everything is written in English as well. The metro stations, the bus stations, in the shops, and of course we have everything you can buy online, your products, your, I don't know, everything that you need for work, for your life, to order taxi, to order, I don't know, something else. All these applications are in English, so there is no like need to know Russian so that you can understand something very similar. And as for the environment, I think maybe Ivan can comment, because he was mostly with international students. So maybe he can say some words about that.
I would say that if you talk with any student in Moscow, there is a possibility that you can, not only in Skoltech, that you can talk with this person in general. If you have some basic needs, like going to supermarket or going somewhere in Moscow via underground or metro, whatever you would like to call it, then you will have no problems. If you plan to talk with any person you see on the street in Moscow, then you would probably have the problems, because not all the people know any language besides Russian. But inside Skoltech, definitely you would always be able to talk English with anybody. Outside, if you talk with a student, most possibly everything is fine. If you have basic needs, it's always fine. If you talk with anybody else, it depends on your luck. Mostly, I would say you need some Russian for that. Yeah, unfortunately. On the other hand, in Skoltech, you can get anything you need. So
Yeah, probably you can learn the Russian while you are there.
yes, and usually it affects in very nice attitude from the people around you, because it always looks very nice when a person tries to learn the language in the place where he is. I mean, you don't need to know Russian ideally, yes? If you just say hi in Russian to everybody, they would smile way more than if they say hear hi in Russian from the people that are from Russia in the beginning. Yeah, so it really cheers as a people, and it really brings their mood up. So at least small efforts like half an hour once in your life and 2 words in Russian would make your talk with any Russian nicer.
Yes, thanks, Ivan. Well, as the end of our webinar is approaching, I might ask Ivan again for one like final word. Maybe if you have to sum up, like how your experience at Skoltech brought you where you are now, what would it be? How did it enrich your skill set or your knowledge and helped you be where you are now?
Hard to say. I would say that it's mostly attitude. All the knowledge which can be separated into hard skills and soft skills, it's knowledge, it's an instrument, yes. So it's like a pen. You can write with it, you can throw it somewhere, you can draw with it. And the main thing is your core. What is inside you? What do you want from your life? What do you want to do? And Skoltech had strong impact on the way how I see the world, and yeah, it reflects in my behavior today, and I think it was really good impact. Yeah, so the main thing that Skoltech changed in me, besides everything else, which was also very important, was that my attitude to the life, the things that I want from life, and the ways how I try to reach it. It has built the structure in my mind.
Great. Then to sum up, Skoltech can help you become the specialist that you want to be. It can help you in changing your attitude in a mind-opening way. And what you should do is you should visit the student.skoltech.ru website again to have a look at all the programs that are there. And the deadline for application is 16th of July, but you should not wait till then and apply as early as possible if you like to. So yeah, this was all from me. I thank you very much, Ivan and Anna, for this informative session.
Thank you very much for joining us today. That was wonderful.
Yeah,
Yes.
thanks for all the questions. I hope we managed to answer most or almost all of them. By the way, this webinar is going to be, yeah, I mentioned that this webinar is recorded, so you will receive a video and have the opportunity to watch it again and again if you wanted to hear it again. Yeah, so thanks a lot and have a nice day.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Hope to see you soon.